Hello, I'm Laura Colomijek and I'll be your host for this week's episode of Undercurrent. This week, the City of Perth opened up for the celebration of Winterfest, a delightful celebration of entertainment and performances. Tony ETC reports.
Welcome everybody. We are looking into the City of Perth Winterfest, organized by the City of Perth. And we will be talking to Ms. Gay McMahon, who is the Deputy Chairperson for the City of Perth. She will be enlightening us about the City Winter Festival, and she is going to be telling us everything we need to know about this festival. Sit back, relax, and I'll be back in the thick. Creating a vibrant, culturally inspired city, Perth City will come alive as visitors and residents discover new winter events and experiences. Exciting entertainment and creative performances will take place in public spaces, shopping malls, and laneways to bring the city to life. Thanks for having us today, Ms. Guy.
Thank you very much. Well, we're very, very happy to be bringing the Winter Festival to the streets of the Perth CBD this year, with a particular focus on drawing in our community to the city to come and enjoy everything that the festival has to offer.
Far from going into hibernation, the city will be buzzing with activities to warm the hearts and minds of little ones and adults alike. From fascinating theatrical acts to intriguing storytelling, a giant ball pit and a cozy movie screenings, there's plenty to delight and entice. Where will the festival occur?
Well, it'll be through the whole city, but particular emphasis will be on Yagan Square and also the city malls, the lanes and the streets. So there's a action-packed program over a month, but with particular focus around the school holidays, which are due to start this Saturday.
Featuring an impressive program jam-packed into the month of July, we are very excited for the upcoming City of Perth Winterfest from 30th of June.
So the event kicks off Saturday, the 30th of June, and runs for a whole month, with a lot of focus around the school holidays over the next 2 weeks.
How much does it cost to participate in the event?
Well, this is the best part, Tony. It's absolutely free.
What should we expect at the event, and what sort of activities are the spot-on activities for the people to enjoy?
Well, there'll be activities focused on young families, also on adults. There'll be art, culture, theatre, acrobatics, a huge snow dome to experience some artificial snow in the city. There'll be singers and dancers, a whole host of entertainment for all age groups.
There's also a chance to discover kids' workshops and intimate live performances under a giant dome. Brightly colored laneways, surprise music events, and beautiful falling snows. How do you think Winterfest is going to impact in the life of people living here in this wonderful city called Perth City?
Well, I think the great thing about the Winterfest, and this is why the city's so happy to support it, it allows arts and culture to be accessible by all people from across the broader city of Perth. And it uplifts you in thinking and participating, being part of the community and experiencing the wonderful creative arts that we have here in the city. So it provides a showcase for people to access culture and the arts and public activities, all free of charge.
Where can we get the information?
Well, look out for the brochure, Winterfest What's On in the City of Perth, but also you can go online to What's On in Perth website and access that through the City of Perth website or directly.
You want the people of Perth City to come out in droves to enjoy all the activities. Have you got any motivational words?
Well, this is from a personal point of view, Tony. In winter, I become like a bear. I go into hibernation. The thing to do is to get outside and enjoy everything that this city has to offer. Come out and be part of the community of the City of Perth and enjoy what the City of Perth is providing free of charge to the families of Perth more broadly.
Thank you for having us, madam. So why not rug up and step out, warm up with your City of Perth for this Winter Fest. I am Tony, ETC for Undercurrent.
Coinciding with NAIDOC Week, Curtin University held an Indigenous art walk. Max Larkin was there to experience this amazing Australian culture.
We are attending an Indigenous art walk, as next week the nation celebrates NAIDOC Week. Join us as we acknowledge many Indigenous artworks at Curtin University.
So I'm Leah McKnight. I'm one of the collection managers here at the John Curtin Gallery, so it's my job to look after the collection.
How important do you think this Indigenous art walk is to the continuity of Aboriginal culture?
Art walks like these are always great to reach out to people and inform people about what's already here and the incredibly rich culture that exists. It's good to bring in new audiences and just make people aware of what's already there, which is such an incredibly vibrant and important culture in Australia.
How important are these cultural events in relation to NAIDOC Week?
I think the Centre for Aboriginal Studies have factored these tours into their events. I would say they're kind of satellite events, but obviously the artistic output of Aboriginal people is incredibly connected to their spiritual life, their culture, their relationship with country. So in that sense, art is not just a part, it's a central part of Aboriginal culture.
Art, especially with Indigenous culture, is actually very important. It's the way that they tell their stories, they convey knowledge. It's a way of them sort of maintaining their culture and keeping it alive.
How much interest do you usually gauge from these sorts of events?
We actually have been doing these tours for a couple of years, and every year they're sort of getting more and more popular. There seems to be quite a large audience for people who are actually interested in stories about the art. And that's kind of what we're trying to do within the tours, is actually tell the stories behind the artworks.
So back to the Indigenous art walk. How important is this event in relation to NAIDOC Week?
Well, we've been doing these tours anyway. We tried to tie it into NAIDOC Week. I suppose it's just our way of sort of being involved and allowing another audience to come and see the collection and come to Curtin as well.
Is there anything else we should be expecting from Curtin University?
We do have some more tours planned later on in the year in August. They're sort of sensory tours. They're specifically designed for people with a disability, so people that either can't see or, so that we're allowing them to touch the artworks, and that's actually also something that doesn't happen a lot, is people can actually relate to the artworks and touch them and feel them.
This artwork, as we were discussing earlier today, is very different to the artwork that I know from home. But what I've learned about being here at the Centre for Aboriginal Studies is we say that this is a meeting place. So when you see those 8 circles and then the big one in the middle, that's like a campfire and we're all coming together. So where we're standing is the meeting site of Midjiguru, who is the father of Yagan. So Yagan and Midjiguru would come here, and this is their hunting ground. And they would also go hunt for fish in Jalgara, which is the Canning River. And together with all the different tribal groups from around WA, they'd come here and they fight off the oppression from the British colonists. And this is where we're standing today.
The circles often in Aboriginal art represent women, and the sticks often represent men. So we also have this shape here, which is the head of the spirit, and they're almost like Wajanas.
So what's this artwork behind us?
So this is George Wardjungarai. It's about men moving across the countryside or the land out towards Kintor, Kirakara in the Western Desert. So they're moving across sand dunes, moving from between rock hole to rock hole.
How important is the artwork we saw today to the continuity of Aboriginal culture?
I think it's really important. It's significant that we keep connection to country, that Aboriginal art is recognised for how important it is. Ian McLean, he actually wrote a book about that Aboriginal art is that all other Australian art should be fitted within Aboriginal art and not the other way around. So it's really important to show our history and our culture for Australians, for Aboriginal Australians and Australians.
This was the Indigenous Art Walk at Curtin University. I'm Max Larkin, and this is Undercurrent.
Up next, we have Taya Wickland asking the public of Perth what they think about the recent changes in the espionage and intelligence laws.
Hello and welcome to Undercurrent. The Turnbull government, with the aid of the Labor Party, have recently passed changes to the espionage bill. These changes have the potential to seriously impact upon our freedom of expression. Reporters and protesters can now potentially go to jail for up to 25 years for criticising the government. I've come to the City of Perth to ask the public what they think about these new changes. Do you think that Australia has freedom of speech?
I think in comparison to some other countries, I do. I definitely feel like my speech is not restricted in any way.
Yeah, I completely agree as well. Compared to other countries, definitely Australia's definitely got freedom of speech.
Generally, yeah.
No, not really. You do, to a point, but they want to keep the truth away from the bulk of the people so the system can stay entrenched the way it is, and that's the way it is.
Yes and no. Legally, it does, but if you want to say something, a lot of people will try and put you down or show you that you're wrong.
I do think they have, yeah. We're very, live in a world or Australia that is very vocal, so I think they do have. There's a bit of, a few people, sort of jump down everyone's throat, but I think on overall it's pretty good.
I would say we do, but there are a lot of restrictions.
Have you heard about the recent changes to the espionage laws?
Something about them, I can't remember. I know there's some changes coming through, but I can't remember what they are.
So basically, some of the changes to the espionage laws means that potentially anyone who criticises the government could potentially go to jail for up to 25 years. It's like reporters and protesters and so on. So do you think that sounds like a fair policy to you?
That doesn't sound like a democracy to me.
Not really. It kind of goes against everything that we actually stand for as a country, that you actually have a right to say what you want to say, and as long as a protest is peaceful and non-violent, then I don't see why people shouldn't be allowed to have their say, especially if it's against what the policymakers are saying. That's the point of democracy.
I agree.
I really don't know because I haven't looked at them, so I can't say. But I would imagine they're to tighten up the belt so that there would be less information to the public, general public.
Well, it just all depends on what they actually do. I think we've got to protect Australia and our waters and things like that for sure. But so it just all depends. When you say reporters, there's some very radical people that don't abide by rules and regulations, and I think they've got to be sort of controlled. But I think, look, I don't know the policy at all, but I would think that it would be protection for Australia.
As an activist for quite a few things, I think that it's really rubbish that people can't express what they believe in and what they think is right.
It's restricting what people can say about the government, which is in no way a good thing. We need open criticism and accountability of our government.
It's not your view of what Australia should be?
Yeah, definitely. It seems to go against everything we actually stand for. We're both immigrants, so we've come to this country from Ireland, which is another democratic country where you feel like you have a right to make changes, and the people actually make the rules and the laws and get to say. So if they're actually restricting that, then what's the point of having a democracy? What's the point of voting in our government if we can't actually challenge what they're saying and doing?
Why do you think that's so important?
Well, we live in a democracy, and if you see cases of this overseas, if we can't criticise our government, we can't see what they're doing and hold them accountable. It's not a good thing for democracy.
I'm Taya Wickland, reporting for Undercurrent.
Don't change the station. We'll be right back after this quick break.